friends, welcome back.
It's been an eventful
It's
couple
been an
days.
eventful couple of days, at least for me. It's been fun. Uh, yeah, we have a fun topic for you guys today. I happen to speak in front of the school board of my kids' school, um, our county school board, and I just gave them a little piece of my mind. Apparently, the video has made it out. I honestly wasn't expecting it
I
to
think
go
it's going to
anywhere.
go super viral.
I was speaker 109. There was almost nobody left in the building. Out of 150 speakers, majority of people left. The disgraced school board went against the constitution of the people of this county. How, you ask? Well, because of the last school board meeting, it kind of got chaotic. They did not allow the people in the building. What we're doing is 10 people at a time were allowed in the building. They had massive amount. It was like TSA. It was literally, you have to pass through security metal detector to get into the building. TSA style. Anyways, then we had a storm coming through. We had people from news there from Japan and New Zealand. Why? Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Out of nowhere. Anyways, the storm came. Some people left. They're like, screw it. I stayed because I just had to make my point because this. I'm so sick and tired of this ideology crap being shoved down our kids' throat, being part of the curriculum that it's not supposed to be. So I will put a link to the video of my, somebody recorded me and shared it online. So I'll put a link below the video for you guys to see it. And I'm mad. I'm still mad. I'm still pissed off. Tonight, we actually had to explain to our kids why and how this is going to affect them. And how it's going to affect the school system as a whole. Schools is not a place for propaganda. Okay? Taliban, they use Madrasa, it's called a Madrasa. This is basically a place where they put children in and they mold them into their ideology. All these religious fanatic style of learning, it's an ideology. It's not learning anymore. It's pure ideology, pure propaganda. And as growing up in Iran, both of us, we went to schools, and even though there was propaganda around the schools, the teachers did not shove it down our throat. The teachers who were teaching us truly, genuinely wanted to teach us the curriculum, which was math, science, literature, biology, PE, whatever the course was. They would not say, because God or because Allah said you have to add 2 plus 2, so it could, with the grace of God, you get number 4. There was none of that garbage. None of that. Even in Catholic schools, there was none of this. We had our classes, then after our classes were done, we had religious classes where the Christians went to Bible study and the Muslims went to Quran studies. But math and pronouns and ideology and all that did not take place in math classes. That did not take place in science classes. That did not take place in our biology class. It didn't even take place during our PE. But 21st century, United States of America, leftist agenda is garbage.
It's like it's not a leftist. I mean, it's communist at this point.
It's
Let's
communist.
just put it,
And
say it what it is.
And I just
You can call it whatever it is.
And
it doesn't change the core of the
here's the
ideology that
thing.
they're promoting.
I've been in this country for 27 years, and I just realized when it had started, because now I go back to the time I went to high school, where I compared the level of education I came with from Iran to this country. I was more advanced at age 15 than a senior in high school in math.
Primary education.
That's how I felt, because I didn't speak English, but I knew math. Math spoke to me because it's a universal language. You don't need a specific language to learn math. So when I sat in algebra class, and when I see a senior taking algebra at the same time, then we had issues. I was like, "Well, do these kids are left? Like,
Left behind.
Are they left behind? Are they not smart enough? What's going on?" It hadn't clicked up until now. I didn't really understand why that was up until now that I have my own kids and my own kids are going to school, and I realized how the school system has completely gone down the drain. It has turned into pure garbage.
Yeah, well,
Now, not to say that there's not, I'm not going to say that all the teachers are that way. There's a lot of good teachers who genuinely care about the students. They care about the education. They want to teach the students the actual curriculum and keep politics and ideology out of the class. But the ones who have an agenda, who come in with an ideology, who come in with an agenda to ruin the minds of these children, those are the ones messing with everybody else. And I think those are the ones should be let go, fired, just whatever. Just get them out of the school system. Get them out.
I mean, the teachers are subjected to a lot of pressure too, because the teachers are forced to be part of the teachers union. The teachers union is run by super ultra communist, anti-American
Marxist
bosses, Marxist bosses. They have infiltrated, as I said, every institution in this country, and that's the truth. And this didn't take place in the past 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. This has been going on for decades, and now it's been like accumulated, and now you see the in daily life, like they can come after your kids and whatnot with that. So to me, the way to prevent this, solve this issue, first thing first, is to destroy the teachers union. There shouldn't be a teachers union. The reason I'm saying actually, the unions started in like a late 19th century, early 20th century for abuses of big businesses and all that, work hours, work conditions and all that, but there were no laws at that time to protect the workers. So actually the word redneck come from like a West Virginia. The miners of West Virginia were the first, and then Chicago, to do organize and all that. But now we have very established laws to protect your fair workplace, compensation, hours, whatnot. There's no need for a union. But nonetheless, you have some of these people still running around and they're trying to, a lot of teachers are against this garbage. But they are part of the system too. So that has to be eliminated. That teachers union, they should have, just teachers should be free to associate or not associate if they want to, not pay any dues, and that would pretty much be end of the teachers union. The secondly would be, this has been going on for decades. This is an ideological subversion in this country going on in decades. Best example, the person who explained it, Yuri Bezmenov, who was a KGB agent, who defected in 1970 from KGB, went to Canada and all that, and then later on. But to this day, like, he explained exactly what they were doing in Soviet communism to subvert the society. Like a lot of articles, and he talked about the academia, a lot of journalists and stuff being on the side of communists at that time, or have a soft spot for them, even back then, as back as 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So you pass 50 years, and he was talking about in order to accomplish that, you only need like usually at least 15, 20 years, as he said, to subvert the education system and pump this ideological garbage to the kids and kind of delusion them to hatred toward their own country. I mean, does that sound familiar?
His exact quote was
And,
distracted aggressive activity to destroy the country.
Right.
That's what it was.
So this has been going on now. The Soviet Union obviously collapsed in 90s, and China has been taken over. Another interesting thing that we are going to add the link to his. He has a lot of people they're putting out some of his interviews and stuff, but we have like a 4-hour his entire interviews and lectures. Some of it, like not all of them, but very good collection. I, as somebody who is just, really consumed with reading and all that, in politics and all that, I would say anybody who finishes this 4 hours instead of binge watching some stupid show on Netflix or whatever, these 4 hours should be like highly recommended for everybody who has a grain of love and patriotism for this country. These 4 hours, anybody who finishes through, I probably gonna watch it like multiple times, because every time I just hear something else.
It's eye-opening.
But at least one time, and you fully understand it. I equivalent that to having a bachelor's of science in political science or in international relations.
And
I mean, it's that level of eye-opening. What he said systematically broke down exactly what was Soviets' plan to destroy this country from within. And now you see that the China and stuff. And what he said was about the business people. So one of the things was, he said, actually, greedy business people, which we see with, the China deal and all this money and jobs and stuff shift away from here. And he said that they are handing the rope that eventually is going to be just hanging them.
And you don't have to.
You're going to add that link.
Yeah, we'll add the link to below the video, and
Highly recommend.
and you don't have to watch the whole thing all at once. You could portion it out.
So it's mainly about ideological subversion.
Yeah,
And
it's a great video. It's
and
very
local things.
informative. It is long. It is informative. I listen to it on my way.
You watch it like a section at a time. You don't
Yeah,
have to
I mean,
watch the whole thing.
I pretty much I put it in my car. I drive, just like a audiobook type of thing.
And he's very charismatic, funny. I mean,
Yeah.
he used extremely unique, like a vocabulary, is highly intelligent, and he doesn't pull back. I mean, eye-opening, and these interviews are from late 70s and early 80s. So
yeah, I mean, look. And here's the thing. While I was waiting to be called in to speak at this board meeting, and I was speaking to another father, and basically I was saying, like, whoever that wrote, math doesn't have feelings, science doesn't have feelings, and physics doesn't have feelings, literature doesn't have feelings. Now, when I said literature doesn't have feelings, I don't mean every literature. Like, don't take it literally, like every script that's written down doesn't carry a feeling. My point is, when you're writing about historic events, when historic events happen, like Holocaust, like the Armenian genocide, like World War I or World War II, like, when these scripts were written, when these books were written as a historic event, okay, the script itself doesn't have a feeling behind it. That's my point, right? That whoever that reads it, they can get affected by the words and by the script. But the text itself doesn't have a feeling. So a gentleman approaches our conversation, and he tries to challenge me, telling me that, hey, I don't understand what you're talking about. What do you mean literature doesn't have feelings behind it, and blah, blah, blah. And we had a 30 odd minutes of a pointless discussion of how he doesn't understand my point, and no matter how much I try to express to him what my point was, and at the end he decides to say, hey, I have a degree in what did he say? He has a degree in God, has one of those pointless degrees.
On the water basket.
No. Oh, he has a degree in philosophy. I was like, good for you, buddy. I was almost about to ask him, please show me your degree, because I don't believe you for a second that you have a degree in philosophy. And long story short, I basically told him, this is how I wanted to test him, was I'm going to write a script and say slavery never happened. Just a script. I'm just going to write it down. No feeling behind it, zero. And I'm going to sell it to 1,000 people. Now, out of those 1,000 people, how many of them are going to be offended? How many of them are going to think nothing of it? I asked him that question. He's like, well, they will all be offended. I said, how do you know? How would you know? If I write the script, I had no feeling behind the script. I just wrote something on a piece of paper. I just said slavery never happened. I don't know why I wrote it. I just wrote it down. Where's the feeling behind it? Right? And he turns around, he's like, well, you're basically saying that you didn't want slavery to happen. I said, dude, this is an example. I said, you see how your mind works? This is your mind persuading yourself. You are derailing yourself, your own mind, because you're looking for a narrative. This is how brainwashing works. I said, but thank you for your conversation. Move along. I really don't want to talk to you anymore because obviously we can't come to an agreement. And he was a black guy. He was part of the LGBT people who were there to protest. They were counter-protesting the parents who were standing up for their children because they don't want garbage down their kids' throat with this like pronoun crap. So the moral of the story is, when you want to shape people's minds, it takes a while to do that. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes almost 1 to 2 generations to mold the ideology. Okay? When Khomeini took power of Iran, it didn't happen over 3 months. This was boiling up 10 years to 15 years prior to the regime change, prior to the revolution. Okay? During Shah time, there were mullahs walking around. There were mullahs, there were clerics, there were Muslim clerics walking in Iran. They were not banned, they were not liked, but they were not banned. But what happened was,
they were actually liked too. I mean, just majority of people, they were in rural areas. Like,
yeah, they were.
You have to look at it. See,
they were in small villages. See, that's the thing. Like, small places. They were not in the city because to them the city wasn't.
That's the thing. What I see, what's going on right now, all of this stuff is not just assault on what this country stands for. You see, from tax censorship and everything else, is attack on the core foundational values of this country. This country was founded based on a set of ideals, right?
Of course.
So as long as these ideals were protected, now let's say for a long time, the United States was far away on the other side of the ocean. They weren't like a, enemy, and the modern warfare, all this like psychological warfare, all this stuff hasn't to take place to an extent in current complex and sophisticated format. So pretty much people they like the values, and then the school system, the people they would teach their kids, immigrants coming to this country, they obviously found the values and those ideals to be great, and they taught it to their kids the same way that we are doing. You know what I'm saying? But now you see that this perversion that we are talking about, the ideological perversion, has taken root over here, preventing people even from teaching the original values to their kids. So they have taken over the school system. So instead of a school system, let's say saying founding fathers, they had character flaws, whatever, but they had this set of ideas. These ideas were great, eventually helped the country to flourish, to get rid of a lot of the ill that was in the society. And you look at it as a progress made based on the set of ideals, not necessarily now trying to destroy those ideals. and as a result, destroying the whole country.
And
These people
he
are
makes a
not
good
looking,
point. He
these-
makes a
these
good point.
people
Hold on
are-
one second. He makes a good point when he said destroy. And I tell you why. Because they voted on the pronoun garbage. They didn't care if there was 1,000 parents that opposing
They
the
did
idea.
not.
They didn't care. They had already made up their mind. This was a show. They had already made up their mind. They didn't care if 1,000 parents are going to oppose this ideology garbage. They didn't care. They didn't not. They were legit only like 15 people countering the parents there. 15, maybe 20. Over 150 people were there. 150 speakers registered. 150, right?
Because they know they get the upper hand in government.
Yeah, because
institutions now
they were
and get infiltrated.
They were elected, supposedly elected. I can't even call them legitimate anymore because they don't care.
You know, this
They absolutely.
elections and stuff,
I
I've
went
said
in
that
there
anything in big cities
as I
and
was
stuff, I
stand,
don't
as I was
question it.
as I was standing in line. I said, look, they're gonna pass it anyways. They don't care what we say. They absolutely don't care what we say. So you know
People
what?
just have to pull their kids out of the
So
schools.
you know what? We're gonna play your game and we're gonna play it good. I'm gonna play it good. As I said in my speech, you will be forced to call my daughter queen and my sons king. And you see me, you address me as your master. This is exactly what I said, and I'm gonna hold you to it. If you call me sir, I'm gonna hit you with the biggest lawsuit you ever seen in your lifetime.
Yeah, because if you're going to be
I
just
will.
going with the
If
pronoun
you're
and
gonna
stuff, that's
call,
going to be his
you do
problem.
not call me sir. You do not call me anything else. You call me master. That's how you're gonna address me. Period. You do not oblige by my demand.
Yeah, but
Guess
what's
what?
the point? You're going to go to the. You're going to go.
I'm
to
gonna
the
sue
court.
them.
The court.
I'm gonna sue them. I
That's
don't care.
what I'm saying.
I'm gonna
The
waste
court
their
in
time.
this area-
I'm gonna waste their
The
money.
court in this area, trust me, any place that you see there's this bold, that means they already have infiltrated throughout all the system.
I
That means the
understand.
court that you're going to go sides with them. The police is going to side with them.
I understand. That's not the point. The point is I want to make their
it's,
life miserable as they make our lives miserable.
Right, but I'm just
Because
saying
that's
is-
the whole point. It's not about anything else. It's because they want to be the woke. They want to be recognized. This is for their resume. You know.
I would say just challenging.
we'll challenge them.
The elections,
I will
making sure
challenge
that the
them.
elections are solid, which I don't trust them in any big city. I said anything.
Man, I've been laughing all
big
day
city,
today.
So the topic of perversion we talked about really is fascinating. Made me think. So let's say Iran was as we talked several videos ago. I said about 4 major revolutions happened in modern history of the world, like past 250 years. Revolution in the sense that the entire fabric of the society changed, the entire system of government changed. Totally different, not just some system, some prime minister goes, somebody else comes. No, the whole system changed. It was American Revolution, French Revolution, Russian Revolution of 1916-17, and Iranian Revolution. Now,
1979.
I have to give credit. The mullahs in Iran, the clergy, incredibly smart because they know, okay, this is the ideology that they said. That's a revolution. They believe in it. You like it, you don't like it. You agree with it, you don't agree with it. You think is great, you think is evil. Whatever, it's not. That's the revolution. That's their set of ideals. So they've created a system of parallel structures in order to protect those ideals. So they have a revolutionary court. That means if somebody is a threat to the ideals of revolution as they see it, they would be actually tried in those courts and executed, whatever. They have parallel military, which is the IRGC, Guardians Force, actually literally guarding the revolution.
Yeah.
So that just to make sure that outsider or outside countries cannot pervert and influence, or from internally cannot infiltrate and cause a coup or something like that. So that would parallel military, that would prevent them.
I mean,
I think is about time. We had McCarthy investigations and stuff in 50. We didn't have social media. We didn't have advanced kind of recordings and stuff that catching people red-handed in act. All these people that they are orchestrating this perversion in this country. We do have it now. At some point, if this country is going to survive, it has to go toward a little bit of roughness. That means we have to face this perversion up front, call it what it is, and take back those institutions, confront it, and that's what it is. If it's not, this country is lost. To be honest, I see, because you are going against a set of ideals. It's going to come to the point that it's going to have no resemblance to the ideals that founded this country or the Constitution, and the system, it can collapse like from within, without anything, like because it's going to get so weak.
I mean, look,
they are causing so much discourse and internal conflict among people, that people, you look at it, all these athletes, obviously they're useful idiots. So I'm using the Lenin's word, useful idiots. These are useful idiots. If somebody's going over there with the purple hair, kneeling for national anthem, these are useful idiots, right? They have been brainwashed that, oh, you have to do that, or they think it's cool, right? But gradually what that does, especially young generation looking at people like that, or even just witnessing something like that, is going to make young generation or people questioning their loyalty to their country.
These are the social justice warriors who are only doing it for recognition. To the country,
and when you don't have loyalty to the country, you don't have belief in the ideas that the country was founded upon, you are not going to fight for it. So meaning, when that perversion is completed, they can just take over, they can persecute anybody who is opposition, they think is a threat for them. And I really thought about, I spent like a week really thinking deeply about, after watching a lot of the lectures of Yuri Bezmenov, really thought about that. And I realized that we really never had true communist system.
Yeah, and if you think about
communist
it,
system, because
you gotta realize
it's never, because you're always going to have that elite. So pretty much it's like state capitalism, or you call it centralized, because you're going to have the elite, you're going to have the people that they're going to be beneficiary of that elite. You look at North Korea, the dear leader is fat and chubby, surrounding people are very pretty, attractive, eating well, and then the rest of the country getting instruction how to eat the roots of the trees and vegetables to survive. So at the end, all of them is going to be some form of fascism. There's not going to be like a true communism like China, what it is right now. So that's what it is. And unfortunately, what I liked about what he said was, in the video, he just nailed it in the head and just said what it is. He said this is a satanic system. It's a satanic system. And when Reagan said empire of evil, really the words have meaning, and it is true. And his solution for any country that wants to protect itself from being subverted by enemy countries through their societies was actually faith. That means increasing the religious institutions, faith in the society, and uplifting the spirit of the country. And actually that's a healing fact. I mean, you see a lot of prisoners go to prison and they become believers. Faith totally changed their lives, transformed them, right?
Some for good, some for bad.
And you saw after Civil War too, you know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King, you have the civil rights movement. So I think like eventually...
Those were all good movements. Those are all great movements.
And that's why you see this like a radical left is destroying and have direct animosity and hostility towards faith-based organizations anything people of faith. They try to do anything. The court just rejected Biden's rule for forcing like a religious-based hospitals to perform gender surgery or abortion and stuff. So
good.
But
anyways, guys,
this was a good topic. I think everybody should just watch that, watch it, really think about it, really think about what's going on in the country. In surface, you might be going around your daily lives not seeing anything normal, but storm could be coming, and this having understanding of what's going on what our enemies might be thinking, what's going on in a society, what does all this perversion means in a society, and just and know that you need to do some sacrifices to the country when you are under attack. Is not going to be easy. This is a warfare. It's just a different type of warfare. This is psychological warfare.
This is psychological, and
what we are going through is a micro.
It's a cultural warfare.
Right,
That's what it is.
cultural
It's a
warfare.
cultural warfare.
So,
anyways, guys, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to our show, leave your comments below,
and watch his video too.
watch my video. I've been laughing all day today. It's been great. I'm having a good time about it. I don't know why. But anyways, guys, pass the word around. Protect your kids. Protect your culture. Protect your kids, because ultimately they're gonna come for everybody. God bless you.
God bless America.
We'll talk to you soon.